Well guys, apparently the fun happens in Fairbanks. That's where I am today. I'm off for another day of adventuring. I think I get to ride a boat, pan for gold. So, you know, I'm looking like the Wild West today. So at least I'm dressed for the occasion. All right, first road trip stop of this day is to see muskox here at a research center. What I've learned about muskox is they got that name because they're kind of stinky. And their yarn is apparently very, very expensive. So the yarn is called Kevian, and it's $100 for one skein. So that's pretty crazy. But it's very warm, and it was used so much here in Alaska because it's warm that the animal was almost made extinct. They had to actually bring more muskox in from Germany after they became extinct here in Alaska. And now they actually have a thriving population here of wild musk ox in western Alaska. So there's your fun fact of the day.
That oil comes out of the ground pretty hot, about 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and they like to keep it good and warm. It makes it easier for them to push it through the pump stations. So they've got 11 pump stations.
So our first stop of the day is at the Alyeska Port Alaska pipeline. And so here at the Gold Dredge, they give us a little presentation about the pipeline, and then we get to pan for gold. So fingers crossed Mama gets rich.
The Gold Dredge 8 had 68 of these buckets in her bucket line, and the continuous feed 24/7. Top speed of that bucket line was about 22 buckets a minute. If you do the math in a 24-hour shift, this thing would gobble up, process, and spit out about 6,000 cubic yards of material. That's a lot of earth. As each one of those buckets would scoop up a load of gold-bearing gravel from the bank of the pond, each one would then clunk and clang its way up the top of the digging ladder, depositing each load into the mouth of the dredge called its hopper.
They gave us something to know, so I hope I'm good at this. I don't know. We'll see. If it needs good luck.
Okay, so this is the giant sluice box. This is the bag of pay dirt that we got. So let's see if this works.
As dense and heavy as lead, 20 times heavier than the water.
It just looks like a giant pan.
Gently swirl that around and around until eventually all the gold is cleaned off from the dirt. See a little bit of flash
Here's that tablespoon. You're ready to do the little marble swirly trick at the end.
Here we go. Rinse this dirt out. This is just junk down here. And there you go, ma'am. There's your gold there for you.
Okay.
You don't need to pour any
I
more
got some
away.
gold. I don't think I'm rich, but I paid for gold in Alaska and I got something. Yeah, and they said I can take this to a scale, but I think it probably weighs as much as like a hair. Mama didn't get rich.
I did get some pretty rocks though. I might keep the rock. I got a rock.
All right, well, panning for gold is definitely for patient people, which I am not. But when I shake it, I hear something, so it makes me think I'm rich, which I like. Maybe I can lie to myself. But now I get to go in here and they weigh it.
Look at this, guys. You can even bring the fun home. You have bags of pay dirt in your own pan. If you want to freeze to death for very little return, you can do it right, or I can send it to you.
Okay. There.
You are looking at $8 worth of gold
Oh
there.
boy.
Okay, I got it made into a little charm for my Pandora bracelet, so yay! All right, back aboard the Tanana Valley Railroad. Well, that was a golden way to spend the morning, but I got one more adventure. This stop right here, I'm at Steamboat Landing, where I get to ride what looks like a paddle wheel boat on the Chena River and see some more history about Fairbanks, Alaska, see how they lived way back then.
For heaven's sakes, folks, please do not miss this very emotional farewell off to the starboard side. Because our crew practices that for you all winter.
Donuts!
Clean. 882 back on the Chena after another.
Trail Racer Kennel. It's a beautiful day here on the banks of the Chena River, and I feel so fortunate because I get to bring you into Sled Dog Summer Camp. We're still running our adult Alaskan Huskies, shorter runs, but we'll do it. Let's spend some time working with the youngest members of our kennel. So Scooch down here is one of the youngest pups we have. She's just 3 months old. You can see she's wandering around, exploring, and becoming more and more confident about her surroundings. And believe it or not, all this fun and games and cuddling, this is going to make her a stronger sled dog one day. Looks like the team's excited to go.
I was going to say, it's tragic they're not eager to do this. But then look at all that power, just waiting for them to pull the trigger, and then it's all quiet and pulling and picking up speed, and Tekla is gone. But that's where the team's going to come back in, and they don't look like they're slowing down at all, so hope the wolf command works. Whoa! Right, nicely done, Tekla! Yeah, then we get out of gym class and right into the pool. Quite the resort for dogs you have here. Now,
something out of it. Now what you see in the pen over here is of course domesticated Rangifer tarandus. That's the same genus and species as the indigenous wild caribou. These are reindeer, but in all the ways that matter, they're virtually indistinguishable from their wild cousins, other than being a little smaller. They have all the same adaptations, like that nice thin dark brown coat for the summer, so they blend in with their surroundings. But in the winter, they grow in a thick white coat. You can see it starting to come in around their necks. So they always have natural camouflage. They're the right color for the right time of year.
And every summer, my family likes to go to our fish camp, which is along the Tukstruk River, and it's called the zoo.
well, we want to learn what has been passed on to you as far as how to prepare a winter's worth of salmon in just a few weeks. But maybe if we could start with the camp itself first. What are all these different things around you?
Of course. This area is similar to many Athabascan fish camps along the Tanana or Yukon River during the summer months. Each summer, families would pack up and head up to about 30 miles away from their village to their family's fish camp. And at my family's fish camp, we use set nets to catch all of our salmon. However, the centerpiece of many Athabascan fish camps is this fish wheel you see right here. And this quintessential fish catcher machine would allow them to catch enough salmon to support their families and dog teams throughout the winter months.
Looking at these ancient structures here, you can see that they are far
those log cabins that are built after Western contact. Now this was because the Athabascans are nomadic, meaning that they would travel 8 to 9 times a year. Now when they were leaving camp, they would pack up each of those caribou hides because they were much too valuable to leave behind. So here we have our world's first mobile home.
The first of which is this fungus called punk. P-U-N-K. And punk grows on the trunks of birch trees and is one of the reasons they were able to overcome that cold, harsh environment. They could take the punk from the tree, where they would then bore a hole into it using a sharp rock and place hot embers from the fire inside, where they would smolder for up to a day or more. Then, when they were ready to move on to their next camp, they would wrap this smoldering punk in moss and tuck it into a caribou hide carrying pouch, so that when they arrived at their next camp, they could take the smoldering punk out and use it to quickly establish a new fire.
Well, I can tell you one thing, this trip has definitely made me a fan of the caribou or reindeer. I think they may be my new favorite animal. There's so many interesting facts about caribou. Did you know their fur changes color to blend in? So in summer, it's always brown, and in winter, it's white to match the snow. They're also one of the only animals that can see UV light, which means they can see the northern lights and probably like it as much as me. But it's helpful to them because they can see the grass that they're hunting even when it's buried under snow and be able to dig it out and eat it. How cool is that? Plus, they can swim. Their hair is hollow. Amazing. They are amazing creatures. And, you know, they can fly and bring presents, so there's that.
Lifting the shoulder blade from a previous kill up against a tree like Oren will show us. Wow, isn't he a skilled hunter? Because bull moose are very territorial, that noise might just attract a full-size bull moose into the area to investigate that intruder and see who is on his turf. The second way to call a bull moose was verbally, using a birch bark megaphone like this. The hunter would imitate a bull moose's mating call, which is a deep, guttural, grunting sound. Would you folks like a demonstration?
Yeah.
Oren? Now once
Maya is currently modeling for us an Athabascan Yukon-style women's winter parka, which are Wolverine tipped with timber wool. And she would sew those on to show that her family are great travelers.
This has been such an educational tour. I have loved today so much. This Chena village that teaches about the native Alaskan people is just incredible. I loved it. It's beautiful, it's historical, educational. It checks all the boxes. This is a little trapper cabin.
This is a typical setting of an Athabascan village after the first significant contact resources harvested right here at this site. Large spruce trees like that one right over there were cleared from the area, peeled and stacked on top of each other for the walls. The gaps between the logs were chinked with moss, and the roof was made from younger spruce poles that were peeled and laid flat across the top. Now, they would then cover that in a layer of bark, and to seal and insulate that roof, they would place soil on top, and then plant the grass to prevent the soil from eroding.
This is an Athabascan smokehouse. They would hang salmons here to smoke. This is the fish wheel trap that they would use to catch salmon running along the river. And they would camp in these tents with their dogs. And then whatever they caught, they would hang here to dry for a little while so that the moisture drips out and doesn't get the smokehouse moldy. And then place it in this smokehouse. If it was for people, they would just smoke it for a day or two, but if it was for dogs, they would smoke it longer. Well, it's about time to get back on the boat and head back, but this has been a really cool adventure. I like the gold dredging this morning. I like the boat this afternoon. It was fun and educational, and both of these things are run by the same family, a local family here in Alaska. So great adventure. If you're in Fairbanks, it's a wonderful way to learn about a lot of different Alaskan histories here. You should definitely check it out.
All right, they gave us smoked salmon to try. Tastes like salmon.
There are some pretty expensive houses down here along the Chena.
To go to college in 1944 to study anthropology, and she met a handsome riverboat captain named Jim Binkley, and they got married in 1947. Started this business in 1950, and as I'm sure you already figured out, that's the lady right over there to our left, our beloved Mary Binkley. Getting around good at 99 years of age. She's got 11 licensed captains in her family, but there's only one admiral, and you just met her in the pink jacket.
Made it back in one piece. Another successful adventure. Now off to dinner. Okay, ready for meal 3 at the pump house. But to be fair, I didn't know I was going to get this one until yesterday. This was a group arranged one that was a surprise, but I'm happy about it. Well, this was my last meal at the pump house. Wah, wah, wah. I went off my general thing, got a steak today. It was good. It wasn't as good as the crab yesterday, but it was still good. And I have had a great last day in Fairbanks. I have to pack up for an early morning tomorrow, but I'm so glad y'all got to tag along with me today. Fairbanks has been a great city. If you want to learn a lot about Alaskan history, about gold rush, about dog mushing, about northern lights, like, it is the Alaskan place to be. One cool thing about Pike's Lodge is it is surrounded by art. The owner, the Binkley family, really admired this Alaskan artist, and it is all over the lodge here, and information about his life, which was inspirational to me, so I really loved it. If you ever come, make sure you check out the art. It's hanging all over. It's in the rooms, it's in the lodge, it's in the lobby, it's in the restaurant. Some really beautiful displays.
So Pike's Lodge has this really cool library and reading room where you can borrow books during your stay. They have some old TV shows like The Honeymooners that plays. Cool little lodge to hang out at. And then in this room is a movie theater that shows a movie on a loop. I have come in here at late as 4 in the morning, but it's a movie about this guy that chased the auroras all around Alaska. It's a really cool movie. And then there's another little bit about the Iditarod on it. And they're really comfy seats, so like if you're trying to warm up or hang out while waiting for the aurora, that was nice. This place is pretty cool.
Alrighty, well, it's another early morning start for me tomorrow. I am already leaving Fairbanks. I'm a little sad to be leaving. Fairbanks grew on me. I don't know if it's where I want to live or anything. They have permafrost here, and I don't think I can handle that, but It was a great place to visit. Wouldn't mind coming back. Love, love, love seeing the Northern Lights here. But I am out of here tomorrow, on to a new place. Thanks for tagging along, guys. See you in the next place.